Welcome, everyone. You are about to embark on a journey through the universe as you indulge in this extraordinary essence of enlightened, empowered, evolved. Let the show begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I'm excited yet again because my next extraordinary guest is an RLT trained relationship coach and host of the Secrets of Happily Ever After podcast. Transforms marriages with simple communication, connection, conflict resolution, and commitment strategies. Her mission is to lower the divorce rate and improve marital satisfaction. Through her engaging podcast, new Amazon best-selling book, Bad Marriage Advice, vibrant social media community, and couples coaching practice, her expert guidance has impacted thousands of couples by helping them ditch the resentment and roommate syndrome. Wow. And get back to living their happily ever after love story. Without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Monica Tanner. How are you doing today, Monica?
I'm so great. It's so fun to be here with you, Luke. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I would just like to say that I believe that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to decide to spend even a moment of your time here with me in the history of your timeline, I just want to express my sincerest gratitude to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's just my pleasure.
Yes, yes. Let's get right into it. You're an RLT trained relationship coach. What's that? Tell us what that is, how you got into it, and yeah, what that entails from your perspective, your method. Give it to us, Monica.
You bet. You bet. All right. I was raised by two therapists who
Oh,
divorced when I was 12 and remarried therapists. So four therapists raised me.
oh wow.
I'm very sensitive to psychobabble. I like to simplify things and use very plain language. I knew that I wanted to help marriages and families like really, really thrive. Like you read in my bio, my
Right.
goal is to lower the divorce rate and raise marital satisfaction because if we are not having fun together, what are we actually doing? So I wanted marriage to be fun and intimate and passionate and all the things that we expect from marriage. And I went back to school to become an LMFT or a therapist and ended up dropping out of the program. I was like, you know what? I do not do therapy speak. I want to be a coach and I wanted to learn how to do it well. And a lot of my reservations with traditional couples therapy was resolved in what's called relational life therapy, which was created by Terry Real. It is a very different way of working with couples where we take sides, we empower the weaker partner to stand up for themselves and the more dominant partner to kind of stand down so that they can create or co-create a magical relationship. And when what I mean by that is something that's intimate, passionate, and really filled with fulfillment. So, I found that in relational life therapy. I suggest it to all couples. If you want to, whether you're in a bad place and you want to see if there's something good left to salvage, or you're just in an okay place and you want to create something better, or if you want to create something even better than what you could have ever thought possible, I always recommend working with a relational life practitioner.
Wow. Thank you, Monica, for that insight. I appreciate it. You know, you mentioned something that stood out to me, and roommate syndrome. Give us a little clarity on that because I think that I understand exactly what you're saying. But yes, what is that roommate syndrome?
Roommate syndrome is so common. In fact, I think every couple goes through some periods of this type of interaction, which
Right.
is, you meet somebody, you're so filled with excitement excitement and the possibility that you're going to create this life together. Hormones are doing the heavy lifting, and you're like, what could possibly go wrong here, right? And then you decide to get married, to join your lives together. All of a sudden, now you have maybe a mortgage, a business that you're building, careers that you're working on, children enter the mix, and people get really siloed and focused on what their job is or their role in the relationship. And a lot of people describe it as ships passing in the night, or just they've lost the spark. There's all different types of ways to explain what this roommate syndrome feels like. But basically, it's not what people signed up for. Like they want this connect. We as humans, we're wired for connection. We want to feel close to someone. We want to feel like somebody understands us, that we have somebody to talk to and to share our life with. And a lot of times people get very bogged down under all of the weight of just creating a life. And so, how do we get the spark back? How do we make marriage fun again? How do we create that connection that's so hard for people to do after the initial honeymoon stage has ended, especially without the skills required? We don't learn relationship skills anywhere. I always find it so funny that when, a kid turns 15 or 16, they have to go through this whole program of driver's ed and then pass a test before they get their driver's license.
Right.
But we just let people get married willy-nilly, no training at all. And we just like, here's your marriage license, go play house. And we don't give them any type of training. And so that is what I do. I like to train couples and give them the relational skills needed to really co-create this magical happily ever after love story.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for that, Monica. Amazing. Amazing. What would you say? This just popped in my head. This is how I do my podcast. Conversation like as if I just met you somewhere and at a coffee shop and we're just having a conversation. Um, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges within marriage, within a marriage? Yeah.
I mean, I wrote a whole book about bad marriage advice, and the impetus behind my book was because my 21-year-old son called me one day and said, "Mom, I met the girl I'm going to marry." I'm like, "That's fantastic." He's like, "I want to propose next month." And I was like, "Whoa,
Wow.
slow your roll. You're so young. There's so much you still need to know." Like, of course, in my head, I'm like, I'm a marriage expert. Well, what have I not taught my kid yet? He's like, "What is happening, girl?" Right? And so I sat down to write him a letter of like, here's, what I want to make sure that that you're aware of. Like, if you're going to do this thing, I want you to be careful of these traps. And it turned into the book where I basically picked out 15 pieces of bad marriage advice that either was given to my husband and I when we got married very young. I didn't have a leg to stand on because we did the same thing, right? But pieces of advice that were given to us that really kept us stuck for a long time in our marriage, or advice that I can see that the couples that I work with are hindered by. And so what the book is super simple. It's 15 myths that I debunk. I tell you why it's bad marriage advice and what to do instead.
Oh, wow. Wow. And yeah, that just slides right into the next. Thank you for that, by the way, to the next question I was going to ask you anyway, about your book. So you just basically said that. So where can we now that's a that's a best-selling book as well.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's on Amazon. Go
I,
ahead,
I
Monica.
was so pleased. Yes, absolutely. You can find it by looking up Bad Marriage Advice on Amazon. Shockingly, when I started writing it and I looked up the title, it didn't come up. I was like, nobody's written a book about bad marriage advice. This is sweet, right? Like I better get this
Yeah,
done.
you're at the
It's
top of
kind
the.
of like when you get that calling from God and you like, if you don't jump on it, somebody else will. And I'm like,
There you
how has
go.
nobody done this yet? I'm certain that this assignment was given to multiple people before it landed on me, but I was just the first one to act on it. So yes, if you look up bad marriage advice on Amazon, my book should come up. towards
Right.
the top. Or you can go to badmarriageadvice.com to get a copy of it. But it's super fun. It's a quick read. It's meant to be humorous and, kind of make light of some of the challenges that we face when we're trying to build a life together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's, might I add, that's a catchy title as well. When you look at like, wait a minute, bad marriage advice. I'm thinking, I want to look a book up a book that says good marriage advice, but no, this is absolutely great. I liked how you were led to that title. That it's amazing. Bad marriage advice. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It fell in
Amazing.
my lap,
Yep.
honestly. Most things like that do.
Yes, and I resonate with you without getting too deep into that. Just like the title of this podcast, it fell in my lap, if you know what I mean. You already know what I mean. It fell in my
Mhm.
lap, enlightened, empowered, evolved. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come
Yeah,
from?
that's
But
good.
then now I'm used to it.
I
That
have it in my calendar as EEE, and I'm like, well, that's fun.
yeah. Yeah, actually I was going to play on that too, but there was other companies that already had that, other platforms that
Totally.
had EEE.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
So
I love good alliteration, right? It's
yes,
so easy to remember.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So tell us a bit about your own podcast. I know I don't want to sound redundant. I know it centers around uh, probably marriage, right? But yeah, give us a little insight on that, how that came to be, and in more detail is what's going on now.
Yeah, I mean, how that came to be is 9 years ago when I told
Okay.
you I dropped out of therapy school because I was like, I do
Right.
not want to be a therapist. And really, my thought around that was, I don't want to be working so much with blown engines, right? Like
Right.
by the time couples come to therapy,
Blown
they
edge.
are so far gone. You're like literally trying to rebuild the engine. Like it's usually their last stop before they go to the divorce lawyers.
Right.
And so one of the very first classes, our assignment was to interview other therapists, and
Okay.
the success rate was so low. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to educate people on how to do oil changes, like how to really care for their relationships so they don't blow their engines. And I remember feeling like I dropped out of the therapy program after a year, and I was like so depressed because I was like, first of all, I'm not a quitter, and I just
Yeah.
totally quit. But I knew that it was important. I knew it was a means to an end, but I also didn't know what the next step was. And I actually have a neighbor who's a really good friend. I had no idea what he did for a living, but he basically teaches people how to get their message out. He's a marketing expert. He's written books about marketing that are,
Oh,
I'm sure if I said the name, you would recognize it. But he came over to my house and I was like, I know I want to teach married couples how to be happy together, but I don't know what to do. And he said, you should start a podcast. And I was like, what? How would I wouldn't even know where to start with that, like tech and otherwise, right? And he was like, I'll send you all the information, just follow the steps, do the work. And I was like, well, what will I talk about? And the beautiful advice I will never forget. He said, start talking and you will find your voice. And he goes, don't worry because nobody's listening at the beginning anyways. And I was like, sweet. He's like, you've got about 30 episodes before anyone will start paying attention. And I was like, cool. So really the first probably 100 episodes is just interviews with people that I was like, how did you do what you did, create what you created? Like, how are you successful in marriage, relationships, business, all the things that I was super curious about. At the time, my husband and I had a business together. And so like working with my husband on building this business was hard in our marriage as well. So I wanted to talk to entrepreneurial couples who were making their marriage successful along with their business. And so that was the beginning. It had lots of iterations. But in the end, what I wanted to do was give people tips or tricks or skills to be able to, in a sense, change the oil so that they were maintaining a really healthy, thriving relationship instead of just neglecting neglecting it for years, blowing the engine, and then trying to fix that.
You notice it keeps tickling me when you use that analogy. I love it. The engine analogy. I'm gonna ask my wife, hey, is our
How's our
relationship
engine
a
running?
blown engine?
Right? Well, because and that is the crux of roommate syndrome. Because what happens, we
Right,
get so busy doing everything else that we forget to maintain the most important. I mean, you need a car to get from point A to point B. We're so
right,
lucky to be able to have these amazing vehicles that can get us where we need to go, just like our marriage. But if we neglect it, if we don't pay attention to it, if we don't do the regular maintenance, it's gonna fall apart. And we don't
right.
want that to happen to our vehicles. We don't want that to happen to our marriage.
That's amazing, and I resonate with this. And correct me what you just said, and correct me if I could say it in a better way. But you know, the honeymoon stage, and hopefully I'm not jumping around too much, but the honeymoon stage, okay, love, okay, you people say, oh, we have love. Well, that's not enough. You still got to maintain. You still got to do the
The
maintenance. Like,
chapter in my book,
yeah,
yes.
see,
Love is in Love is all you need, right? That's a song by
right,
the Beatles. None of
right.
the Beatles stayed married. It's so funny.
People stay married. Whoa! I didn't know that. I didn't know. I didn't know Paul, Ringo. I didn't know they.
You need a lot more than love to make a marriage work. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. And you gotta, like you said, maintain it. You gotta do the tune-ups. You gotta do the oil changes. I'm
Yes.
gonna I'm gonna use that analogy, Monica. Yeah,
Yes, and
that's
my
a
mentor,
that's
this
a
is, you'll enjoy this because you talked about the honeymoon phase. My
right,
mentor, Terry Real, who is the creator of relational life therapy, I love it when
right,
he says this. It's the coolest thing that he says. But
right.
he says that your real marriage starts the day you wake up and look at your partner and think, oh my God, what have I done?
Whoa, yeah. Like you said, when that honeymoon period dissipates and it's kind of like it's not fun anymore at the particular moment. Yeah, that's when the real marriage starts. Yeah, I agree with
Absolutely.
you on that. Another thing, um, what really stuck out, what you said is how you got your podcast started. That sounds exactly like me. I didn't know what I was doing, and you're right. If I go back to like my first episode to right now,
Oh,
night and
mine
day,
are
night and
hilarious. I
day.
leave them up because I'm like,
Yeah.
you should know I was very bad at this before I got
So,
good at
no, and I believe in transparency, especially in regard to this transparency, and it shows real time growth. In contrast, it's like, no, I didn't start out having this microphone, having the right apparel that I put on to stand out. That's my thing now, and this desk and the background. I didn't have that. I didn't have my introduction to my show, anything like that. It had to evolve. I had to do it. Things I've
it's
learned.
podcast.
Um, like there's a philosopher who I love, enjoy. He's long gone from the early 1900s. His name was Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, "Do what
Mhm.
you're afraid to do."
Mm.
And this was one of the things that I've done that I was afraid to do. Like, I didn't want to see my big old head on camera and listen to this annoying voice that I have to listen to every day. I didn't want to hear it played back to me, you know?
Well,
So,
podcasting is no joke. Most
yeah,
podcasters quit after a series of episodes because
right,
it's hard to be talking with no feedback, right?
right,
I mean, you
right,
have no idea if people are listening on the other side or not. You
right,
have no idea what they're thinking, you
right,
know. I mean, you get a lot of commentary, right? Like
right.
for those of us who have been around for a long time, yeah. I mean, I there's reviews on my podcast that says I hate her voice, and I'm like, why on earth are you listening? Then go away.
You know what? I learned that about, there's some things I want to add in there quickly
Yes.
that I've heard said and it resonates with me. If no one talks bad about you or talks about you, then you're not doing anything. So the fact that you're doing something is going to trigger people. So let them do it, you know,
Yeah.
and they are paying, like you said, they're still paying attention. Not saying that we want that, but we can move through that. We're okay. You know, I've had people tell me, "Oh, you think you're this and you think that's okay. That's fine. Why are you watching me then?" That's how I feel. Why are you
Oh,
watching me
yeah.
then? There's
So
several other
many times.
podcasts you can go to. Why are you here? And a lot of people, and I'm not going to turn this episode into talking about, what we don't like, but a lot of people, and I've learned this in life, your success and what you're doing triggers them. So that's why they feel the need to have to say something, right?
Yes.
So let them do it. It's okay. Yes. So how would we find your podcast, first of all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go literally to any podcast player. I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. And just type in Secrets of Happily Ever After. There is I learned this like SEO trick to
Okay.
put like all the keywords into the title. So it does say, I think the beginning of the podcast says marriage tips for Christian couples,
Oh, right.
Secrets of
Okay.
Happily Ever After. So it does have like that, what do they call it? A thug or something at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yes.
But it shall pull up if you put secret.
To help the algorithms.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Because what are we doing this for if nobody can find us, right?
That.
So what are
Yes.
people typing in? What are people looking for? They're
What are they
looking
looking
for
for?
tips for Christian couples. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. And also, let me ask you this before we conclude. Okay, let me go here. Is there anything that I did not, that we left out that you would like to highlight, that you would like to
Oh,
share? You got anything else coming up?
I mean, we have just barely scraped the tip of the iceberg. But I would
Okay.
say, listen, if you feel like any improvement can be made in your relationship, your connection, your intimacy, your passion, right? I would definitely look for a relational life practitioner who can help you see what you can't see. There's no shame in it. Elite athletes have great coaches.
Mm,
Successful businesses have coaches and consultants who help them see the things that they cannot see because they have a different perspective, right? They can see more of the playing field than you can being right up close to the action, right? So definitely look to hire somebody who can give you some perspective, help you see your blind spots, and really perform at an elite level. If you want elite marriage, which I hope that you do, right? Because anything worth doing is worth the effort. Get somebody to help you.
thank you. Yeah, it sounds like I resonate with that. Yes, you had somebody to help you see the areas that you don't see. Awareness. That's the
Right,
key
you
to.
don't have blind spots. And I always say you can't see the label from the inside of the bottle, right? You're in a dynamic. You're real close to the
Say that
action. You
again.
are in it. You can't see the label from the inside of the bottle. And so, what a good coach can do for you is help you see the dynamic that you're in, the impact you have on each other, and how to do the dance differently
Mm,
to get better results. Yeah.
thank you. I'm learning all kinds of what I like to call jewels. You're dropping jewels. Yes, nuggets, golden nuggets of wisdom. Thank you for that. But yes, you can't see the label from the inside. Yes, I love that. And then I love the engine analogy in regard to relationships. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. That's one of the reasons why I do this podcast is just the awareness and the wisdom and the insight that I pick up from uh, people's perspectives and their research and their passions. It's just amazing. It's so life affirming, growth oriented, and
Mhm.
helps me evolve. Just like reading. I do a lot of reading, so this just enhances it, and I love it. And yes, you are definitely a an example as to why I do this podcast.
Oh, well, thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
absolutely, absolutely. So how can people find you? I know I'm going to have your links, but how can people find you? Can you tell us?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can find all my free resources, including my podcast, things that I put out on social media at my website, monicatanner.com. And also there you can sign up to get a free consult with me and learn how to work with me. So monicatanner.com.
MonicaTanner.com. You got it. So thank you again, Monica, for being here and, condensing, I'm sure, what is extensive knowledge into just this little small segment. Thank you. And giving us a little peek through the window as to your amazing insight, perspectives, knowledge, expertise, passion, just and a whole lot more. Just thank you very much again for being
Thank
here.
you for having me. And I would not call myself an expert. I am an experimenter.
Right,
I practice all these things in the lab of my own marriage. So, we're all in it together.
right. Thank you. Thank you for that, clarifying that. Yes, exactly. Yes, just like I said, maybe I didn't say it to you. Maybe I'm getting things mixed up, but I consider myself a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. See,
We
so
all are.
I
Yeah.
say, yeah. So yeah. Thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button. Share this. Not only help the platform grow, but help get this vital information out there to those who may need it or just simply for awareness. Educate yourself. Yes, appreciate it. And if you feel that you would be a good fit to be on the Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved podcast, just simply email me 333empower at gmail.com. 333empower at gmail.com. Yeah, shoot me a message. Thank you very much again for being here. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you soon. Sending you love and appreciation. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved.